Mondays is back in action. Yo, we are back in action here at Metal Mondays with an 80s metal solo perfect for beginners. Now, before we get going into this one, I'll show you the song that we're talking about. Just a reminder, if you guys want to check it out, I have my guitar courses on sale this week. The Rock and Roll Boot Camp, which is a beginner course, 55% off, and my 8-course bundle is 80% off this week, and that all ends Sunday. So check it out if you want. That is all linked down below, as well as tabs and the backing track to this solo if you want to, jam out with it. So let's get it. All right, now this is such a good solo. I just like the whole song, Ah, man, I'm gonna even cover a little bit of the riffs in here too. I'm gonna do a solo within the riffs, but it's all basically out of this. I'm giving this kind of like this A major vibe. Is all that it really is. Now there's lots of little things in here. I'm going to show you a couple ways to avoid. If you don't have a whammy bar, don't worry, I got you covered. You don't really have to have a whammy bar. There's a couple workarounds. So this intro part here is, again, like I said, it's all A major. Basically they're going around this A major chord, kind of like a suspended second almost. Because they're adding that B in there. So we're going to be playing 9 on the G, and you play it twice. So you play it twice on 9 on the G, then you're going to go to 10 on the B, back to 9 on the G, and that 9 on the G is kind of palm muted. Okay, then you go to 12, back to that 9 on the G. So, okay, so that's the first little section of it. Then a full step bend. Some vibrato on it there at the end, and that's like the opening part of the solo, because the solo has a lot of breath to it. A lot of these notes are real drawn out and just meant to be a melodic kind of like epic solo. So as a beginner, this is going to teach you all kinds of control. Controlling your bends is really difficult. Bending is hard, but then to control the bend, add vibrato, keep it in pitch, all that stuff, it's tough to do. Alright, so on to this next section, which goes like this. It's so cool, it's so melodic. Now you can either clean it up like I just did, or I feel like they kind of let the notes clash a little bit more. And all I'm doing is I'm barring 5th fret with my index finger on the high E string and the B. So you're going to go 5 on the B. It's kind of, it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's very similar to the way the solo opened up with this pedal point that they're bouncing off of. Okay, so you play 5 on the B, and you're going to play 5 on the high E string, and then hammer on to 9, and pull back off to 5. So you're going to go, then you go back to 5 on the B, so do the same thing, but you're going to hammer on to 7 on the high E string. So, okay, so you have that part. Now you slide from 5 up to 7 on the B. Now I like to transition here, and I use my ring finger. And the reason I do that is it helps me get ready for the bend that's about to happen. So, or you could do it with your index finger. And there's this really big bend here. It's a step and a half. And it actually keeps going. So basically this would have been almost like an overdub section. So we really can't play it the way it is recorded, just because it's probably 2 guitar parts happening at the same time. But basically after you do that slide up, you hear the note go like this. It bends all the way up here. So, and the note is held out still while the next part is. So I kind of did that in the recording, but to play it with one person, you really couldn't do it. You have to bail out on the bend a little bit early to get to the next part. So, alright, so on to the next lick. Now, like I said, that bend carries through, and you can hear on the recording, like it just keeps going, so it's obviously an overdubbed guitar part, so we really couldn't do both parts at the same time. But this next lick is really, really fun. It's just a really cool lick out of A major. Oh, sorry. There it is. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. If I play it slow, I have to play it like in the same rhythm. Okay, so basically I'm playing 11 on the G, and I'm going to go 10 on the high E string, and I pull off to 9. So there's a string skip there, so that's kind of the most challenging part of the whole thing, is that string skip. Then I go back to 11 on the G. Okay, so then I'm gonna go back to 9 on the high E string. So then I go 10, pull off 9, then back to 11 on the G, and then 10, slide up to 12. Okay, so, and there you have it. So, such a good melodic lick. I really dig that one a lot. So like I said, so far we have I want to throw one thing in here that I personally like to do. I chose not to do it this way because, like I said, the lesson's meant to be more for a beginner. But it almost sounds like they're going like this. Oh, sorry. Like they tap that note or go up to it or something. It almost sounded fatter than the B string, but you know, who knows. Now this part's kind of cool because here you can use your whammy bar if you have one. If not, doesn't really matter. So if you want that sound, you can do that. And what I'm doing is I'm basically holding down a little bit of a chord, basically like an A power chord. And I'm playing 10 on the B, and then 9 on the G. Now what happens, if you listen, it sounds like for a minute they hit just this note, then they hit them both together, almost like a double stop. And then you can hear the bar kind of hit. But if you can't do that whammy bar kind of thing, it gets a similar sound if you can add this like sudden bend. They're different, but you can still kind of like work with what you got, you know. Okay, and again we're gonna go like this. This is another little double stop thing. 10 on the B to 12 on the high string. Okay, play it what, 3 times? Then I just roll my finger down and get 10 on the B and the high string. Now this part, really to get it to sound right, you need a whammy bar, but you could kind of, I saw some people who didn't have whammy bars go, you know, you can throw in some kind of version of this lick and it'll totally work. Basically the lick is this. So without the whammy bar, the lick is just going 14 on the high string. This is the toughest part of the whole solo. And you hammer on to 17, pull off to 14, hammer on to 19, pull off to 14, and you repeat that. Okay? Now I'll show you how he's doing it with the whammy bar, if you have a whammy bar on your guitar. Basically, every time you play 17 or 19, that's when he hits the bar down, just a little bit. A lot of times I flick the bar with my finger. You don't need a lot. Some people tend to like crank on the whammy bar. You don't need to do that. Okay? Now, a way you could get away with this is either just do it plain, and he ends on that 19 on the high E string. Or you could do kind of like a Jimmy Page thing, if you're more comfortable with this. This isn't necessarily like a beginner technique, but it's something you could do if you don't have a whammy bar. You actually could do the same lick, okay? But reach behind the guitar and grab the string with your other fingers, and you can pull up on it. And it's a little bit different because you're bending up. If you have to remember, when you use your whammy bar, you're bending the pitch down. It's kind of the only way you can do a down. And when you're using your hand over here, you're bending the pitch up. So it doesn't sound exactly the same. But I don't know, it has its own little merit to it, you know. But that's the main part of the solo. Like I said, it's overall a very simple solo, and luckily it's so pieced out. With all that space, like I said, it's real easy to kind of digest it and just work on one part, get it down, move on to the next part, and it just has that huge 80s sound. And next I'm going to touch on the rhythm parts here real quick. Now, one of the things that you're hearing in the solo, which to me is kind of like strange because you typically don't hear this, but you're hearing a rhythm section with a melody in it. So the riff is this. something along those lines. I'm not so much going to break that down, but when you listen to it, like, why I'm saying that's strange is because it's a single note line, and it's almost like a little bit of a lead itself, and it doesn't clash with the solo. A lot of times that would, you know, it would fight the solo if you did that, but it surprisingly doesn't. And I just thought that was kind of cool, because it's basically just an A chord. Then he goes down and he goes to the D. There you have it. My guitar's a little bit out of tune after all that whammy bar action. So there you guys have it. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Like I said, I just thought that was a great solo to come back into the Hair Metal Mondays with. And other than that, I get the tabs. Like I said, I'll put that backing track down there for you guys. If you want to jam along with it, you totally can. And check out the guitar courses that are on sale this week if you want to support the channel. So other than that, guys, I'll see you all Wednesday with another video. Hope you all have a great Monday. Bye, guys. Woo!